Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I want to say something. I see my man EC trying to ask a question. We're gonna get into that later.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we're gonna go ahead and break and let you ask this question. So my man EC said I created an LLC 3 years ago where I would put my Uber Lyft money. I paid taxes under his 1099.
Mhm.
He went to buy a property on his LLC. Also build credit to manage and repair these properties. How? So I guess he asking you, Top Shelf, for some
Mhm.
advice. He didn't put together a little bit of money. Now he want to purchase, his first property. What
Yeah.
advice you got for him?
Now, don't get me wrong. You can actually, and this sometimes it be a little jumping through hoops. Sometime purchasing the property with your investment company or some type of LLC. It's always going to put you to some type of hoops, man, or charge you just a little bit more as far as interest rates and stuff like that. Far as you can do it, you know what I mean. You can put the business under your LLC name. You know what I mean. So if he asks me a question of can he do that, you can also, yes, you can do that. You can do that bill credit, but it'll bill credit for your LLC though.
Right.
Not for you personally. You know what I mean? Because of course the LLC is separated from who you are. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
you can do that, but keep in mind you're not building credit. You're actually your company building credit. Now you can build credit a little bit to a certain extent because they might put you on as a grantor, meaning that your company own it, but they got to have you co-sign it as a grantor. It's called a grantor. They can do that too as well.
Okay. We're gonna get back with our viewers, man, at the end, but I want to get a few more questions to get that out the way, and then we can
Yeah.
just flow from there. And at the end,
Yeah.
we're going to our Q&A.
Awesome.
Um, so and you get two questions, right?
Sure.
Two-part question. You just did a play,
Yeah.
right? Well, first, don't go into it, but was that your first play? That's my question.
No. No, actually my
Okay.
third.
Okay, but we're going to talk about this last one because I kind
Okay.
of saw on that. Start with the question about the trip to Africa, and then
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about the stage play.
Awesome. That's a good question. So being an entrepreneur and being in this business world, of course you get invited to, not even if you don't get invited, show up at these networking events. Be around people and the things that you want to be a part of. That's number one. Don't wait for things to get right. Find out, look online, find out when the networking meeting is going to be at, whether you want to be in a political game, the business game, all business, you know what I mean? Or whatever game you decide to be in, show up, show your face, get acquainted, know people. You never know who was there. People say, it's kind of like it's who you know. That sounds great because we've been taught that. But guess what? It's who know you. How about that one? You know what I mean? It's not about just who you know. It's about who knows you. So you want to get to that point of going to different places. So I just happened to be invited to this one. And I pulled up, and it was actually the current governor of my state, Delaware now, was actually there, who was instrumental in me being able to go to Africa. So we had a networking event, it was a fundraiser. So I said, and don't be afraid to go to fundraising. If you ain't got no money, just donate what you can. You know what I mean? Give them a check for $25. Say, get yourself in there as long as there ain't no cover charge that feels too hot. So I go to this networking event, and I see people getting out the car, African people, and I'm talking about almost like some coming to America stuff, and without the roses and stuff like that. I'm talking about
Right.
queens, and
Right.
I'm like, what in the world? Where am I at? You know what I mean? So man, so I goes in there, and I knew the person that was having the networking event. That's why I went, and I got in there. And I met the mayor, Basuda. His name is Talib Basuda, is the mayor of Gambia. So I met him at the networking event, and I asked him. I said, "So we got talking." And then again, the county executive was there, who is now our governor, and said, "Yeah, you should talk to him." But we'll talk about his countries from Africa, and you had a bunch of African people there. And I asked him about his country, you know what I mean, and what he's doing here. He was there with the political stuff, you know what I mean, coming to check out different ideas to take back to his country. And so I started talking to him. I said, I would love to come to your country. He's like, oh yeah. And we're gonna ask Mark, is it safe? I've never been to Africa, you know what I mean?
Right.
Now I've been there several times. So he said, you're safer in my country than you are in your country. So I was like, why did you say why? He said, because we don't have the guns and the drugs and all that stuff. We don't have that so prevalent. They don't have gun stuff. He said, why would we have our government in the battle with the people with the same type of equipment? You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense. So the law has the the license and have the guns and stuff like that. You know what I mean? As far as that, whether you believe all that stuff, I know over in America is a different ideology and mindset because we're gun crazy. Like, if you go outside the country, you'll really realize how gun crazy America is. You know what I mean? It's not shot America; it's just what it is. So I say, you know what? I'm going to Africa. I came home, got my plans together. I told the future governor that I'm going over, and I went over to Gambia, and I met the most beautiful people I could ever meet in my life. And I, not only that, I fell in love with the people. I ended up starting a foundation called the His Image Foundation over in Africa, where we help schools and kids with all types of stuff, from food to clothing to personal stuff for the females. Females don't even have personal things over there, where if they don't have them, they can't go to school. You know what I mean? Because of an embarrassment, you know what I mean? Of something that's so, you know, we can go from every drugstore and get stuff personal for our young daughters and our young girls. Over there, they don't have that, you know? So I created a foundation that we can stream money to them and then get things done, get stuff built, get books, get computers, and you can donate to us too. So I will talk about that too. But when I ended up going to Africa, so now I've been to Morocco, Senegal, Gambia, and last time I went over there, they had a daggone parade. Did you see that? When I got off the bus, they had a whole fanfare. It was crazy over there. But and that's how I ended up going to Africa. If you ever get a chance to, definitely go to Africa. Definitely go to Africa, man. It's a great experience. Awesome experience. But that's how I ended up going over there. And so I met the mayor.
A follow-up question before you go on.
No, you're good.
Did you go by yourself or did you take, because I've seen some pictures and some of them were familiar. So tell us about that.
So even inside of that networking event, again, don't be afraid to go to networking events to get to know people and find out, you know, what's going on and things that you may be interested, you know, or just go be nosy, you know what I mean? So you might get, you know, a good connection. There was a lady named Maddie Sane there who has, she's from Gambia, but she lives here. And I met her at the networking event. And she said, hey, I do this little trip over Gambia every year. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do every year. I'm trying to get some people to go. And I know you, Top Shelf. I heard about you. I know what you do. I said, how many people you need? She said, I'll be happy to get 10 people going. The first time, I think we took 13 people. And then the next time we took 20 something people. So now we're going with groups of 20 to 25 people over to Africa every year. And sometimes we skip a year, we'll go to the next following year. So we may even skip this year, but we'll be going the following year of 26.
Very good. Now you can continue on with the stage play was the other part of the question. The stage play. Yeah.
So the stage play. As you can see my pattern, you guys, you'll see that, you know, everything that I've done derived from me from being a barber, like behind the barber chair. It derives from that. I always wanted to be a writer. So of course, writing books, writing plays, writing stories, writing movies, screenplays, I always wanted to be a part of that life. So I never wanted to let that go. No matter what I was doing for work wise, I always had that leisure time of, you know, that's my time. That's the dessert of my life is writing. So I didn't want to neglect doing like the stage plays and stuff like that. So I started writing my first play. And I'm a comedy dude, Mark. I love, like, I'm a serious businessman, but I'm the type of guy. I would like to get on the stage, grab a mic. I would like to be the one that's writing a comedy play or story. So I ended up writing a comedy play called Watermelon Cornbread. And the first one's called Watermelon Cornbread, The Blessing in the Recession. And it's about a black-owned family, a black bakery, black-owned bakery that a family owned. And you know, they had all types of stuff, but it was going through the recession. But their grandpa would make this cake called watermelon cornbread, but he would never put it in the bakery because it was just for the family. But some kind of way it ended up in the bakery, and they kind of blew up, and then all types of stuff, people trying to get at them. But it's a very good story, and actually we sold out here in Delaware like several times. Yeah, and we took that one on tour down south for a little bit. So behold, about 10 years later, the one play that you just seen recently was Watermelon Cornbread, The Holiday. So we actually brought it back and did another segment of it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Listen,
Thank you.
I want to move forward now because you well accomplished. When I look at you, I see the epitome of confidence. You know, every time I see you, whether it's online or whatever, you appear to be very confident in who you are. But yes. I want to ask you to take us back to your childhood, where you grew up, the family dynamics, how you saw yourself, and just tell us about that.
You know, Mario, I'm glad you said that because, we growing up in Riverside Projects, man, and we had a lot of role models on what not to do. I tell people all the time they had a lot of role models telling me what to do. I just seen a lot of things that people done that I just didn't want to do. I knew I didn't want to be, locked up. I knew I didn't want to be out here on the corner getting caught up in the gang or whatever, those type of things. And I'm the youngest of 9 brothers and sisters, and I have a twin brother too, Frederick Reed. I always have an interview. I say I got to have an interview. I got to mention him because he's doing great too as an entrepreneur. But in my life, we grew up. My mom was single, and she was drinking at the time. She don't drink no more. Haven't drinking in years. But during that time, it was just hard growing up in the projects, single family, single mom, and you just didn't have anything. Like Christmas really missed us. That's how I felt. You know what I mean? And I always felt in my life that I wanted to win. Not only I want to win, I want my kids to win. I actually met my wife when I was in 9th grade, 10th grade, 9th grade, and we got 4 kids together and still married to this day at 27 years later.
Did you know at the time when you met your wife?
No, absolutely not. I was young. I did dab in the music business a little bit and stuff like that. And it just happened. I mean, we broke up a couple of times during our young years. Then we ended up getting together and getting back together and ended up got married. Had 4 beautiful kids. Now they're grown. We're empty nesters in the big old house with kids not even here, and we got 3 grandboys. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's like, but yeah, huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So growing up in the projects, man, you always got to fight through it. Mark, man, you got to fight through, man. It's like sometimes we can be harder on our people more than anybody in this world. You know what I mean? Because we're afraid to. When I was young, you was afraid to jump off the box and do something different. You had to do what everybody else is doing, and that's still remnant, still on us sometimes. Remember, everybody's wearing white T-shirts, or everybody got to wear Timbs, and everybody, where is this? Like, they don't understand how this carries us. And not to get political, I don't even like the fact that all black people got to be Democrat. I didn't know. Oh, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, be whatever you want to be. But this is how our culture is. You know what I mean? Sadly to say, we all are scared to jump out the box and we think everybody needs to be the same. No, we may not agree with you, but we got to respect that you're different. I just want to respect it, So I just had a lot of people on what not to do, but I wanted to win. Like, I knew it was possible. I wanted to win. And let me tell you something, it's not easy even now in owning businesses. You're going to have your rough weeks and rough months sometimes, but you just keep on getting back up because this is what you believe in. This is what you want to do. I want to be free. That's my goal is freedom and a better quality of life, period.
Very good. So let me ask you, so growing up in a notorious housing project, right?
Yes.
Can you look back and see some of just your peers that may have fell by the wayside, that may not even be here today, or that got caught up in a bad situation?
Yeah, I had family members, cousins and stuff like that, or even friends that I seen back in the day that didn't even make it to 25 years old. Like, and I remember kids playing basketball on the basketball court or in the street playing football or playing tackle football with these guys. And these guys are no longer with us. And I'm gonna be honest, when you look at the old pictures and say, oh, he got killed then, he was 22 years old. Like, that's how we be looking at stuff like, wow. So I had a lot of friends that just didn't make it. People I just seen around the way, or some that got on drugs and didn't make it back. People don't understand that when you grow up in that system, that project mindset, you know what I mean? It hurts you in so many ways. I think now in life, we're finding out a lot about vibe and about frequency and about high level thinking, and those type of energies and frequencies draw things to you. That's great. But if something that's keeping you down, to keep you on a low vibration, it's keeping you on a low frequency, it's hard to draw stuff to you that way. So people say, D-Ree, you always upbeat and all that, because I try to stay on the high frequency because I want to draw high frequency things to myself. Does it get hard sometimes? Yes. Do I go through some bad days like everybody else? Remember what I said. Everyone's important. No one's special. So I go through some of the same thing everybody else go through too as well.
Appreciate that. If you could talk to this young Derek, because right now you top shelf, you D-Reed, you on top, you got the big house, you living life.
I'm doing
even though
okay.
you say it's not perfect.
Right.
What words did you have to young Derek? And the only reason I ask you that, because as you speak to young Derek, you're going to speak to some young people, or you may speak to some parents who got children that they can use that advice.
I would say take the chance. Go for it. I mean, go for it and give it your all. If there's something that you believe in, there's something that you want to do, whatever is business, entertainment, music, art, fashion, things that we need, even politics, whatever you want to get involved in, I would say to the young Derek, start now, start early. Do not let your age stop you. Don't look at your age that I'm 15, I'm 16, I'm 17. No, you can be a millionaire by the time you turn 20. We are living in the world right now where you can be a millionaire 20, 23, 24 right now. Like soon, you know what I mean? But you got to start now. So if anything I can do is I would tell the young Dare, start sooner. Now, don't get me wrong. I started soon as barber and cutting hair, but a lot of stuff that I'm involved now, I kind of wish I did start sooner. So you want to start sooner, take the risk. Don't let fear stop you, and don't wait for things to get right. Keep going
Okay.
right now.
Very good. It's good advice.